What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Gaming. Welcome to episode 17 of Gaming at its Core. Today we have the full cast with us. We've got Blue Danger.
Hey.
We've got Josh McKenna.
What's down?
Mule Kick Media.
Hey.
Online ZHD.
Hey.
And RBGT.
What's up?
All right, so last week we obviously didn't have a podcast. We're all busy and we didn't get around to making a podcast. So we couldn't really talk about the Paris Games Week news. So we're going to be doing that later on in today's episode. But just to quickly start, there have been lots of new games that have released over the past week or two. So I guess we'll just go over what has everybody been playing for the past week. Or I guess 2 weeks then, since we didn't do a podcast last week. So I guess we'll let Dan, you can start.
Alright, so obviously Call of Duty World War II came out last Friday. I've been playing that for a bit. I've tried my best to play online when the servers have actually decided that they want to work properly, to say the least. But I've been playing that for a bit. It's pretty good so far. I still haven't beaten the campaign because I've been quite busy with college work, so I haven't really got around to doing that. But I've tried my best to get through it. But it's been pretty good so far. I've been pretty impressed with it. Definitely better than Infinite Warfare. And other than playing FIFA a little bit because, some friends on pro clubs and stuff like that. But honestly, mostly this week I've just been playing Call of Duty World War II, just, trying to finish that. So that's pretty much all I've been playing this week, to be perfectly honest.
All right. Brandon, how about you?
Got Call of Duty World War II as well. Sorry, Blue.
Gumbug.
That and then also Destiny 2. So that's pretty much what I've been playing.
Okay. Josh?
I've been playing Destiny 2 and COD. I don't think there's anything else I've been playing. But yeah, pretty much share the same thoughts on COD as Dan. It's pretty good. I think it's I don't know if I want to. I have a bit of an issue because I can't work out if I prefer it over Advanced Warfare, like at least campaign wise. I think everything else I prefer in World War II, but I think generally I prefer World War II. I think. So yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Ryan?
I've only gone to Mission 2, so I don't have much to say
sure.
about COD's campaign.
Oh, yeah.
How about that multiplayer,
Alright.
fam? Cap. I need to get to that campaign more, though.
You do.
I do?
Ryan, how about you?
Nothing. Yeah. So, I always feel
What's that
guilty
like?
every time
That
the
is pretty
episode
good.
starts. It's like, what's everyone's been playing? And it's like, oh yeah.
Essays.
Wait, so you haven't touched your PS4 at all?
Well, all right. Well, like I captured some footage from Uncharted 3 for a video I'm making, but like I don't really consider that playing really because I'm just skipping around chapters. So other than that, nothing.
Yeah, what did you think of Uncharted 3? Do you think it's better than the other Uncharted?
Yeah, I think it's better than most
Let's
of the
not
Uncharted,
start
but
this again.
we'll save that for a different video.
It's better than Lost Legacy.
Yeah,
I'll tell
hey
you
guys,
that.
next week we're gonna have the big Uncharted celebration podcast.
Hell yeah, a date with Nate, man.
Yeah.
We gotta play that at the end.
We gotta get
No,
Jaden.
Or in the
we gotta
beginning.
act. We gotta act out.
We gotta
our
get
scenes,
Jaden back
guys.
on here.
Yeah, we gotta act out the scenes.
Oh my god, you
That's
can
an
do
episode
that.
next week. It's
We have
drama
way
fest.
more cooler things we could do besides roleplay Uncharted scenes, I can tell you that.
What
it
is
would be so
cooler
fun.
than playing
Yo, okay.
Uncharted?
If anybody,
I don't know, share our explanation how we got into Uncharted. I don't know, that sounds a lot
That's
less
so
gay
boring. I
compared
swear,
to
we've already
fucking
talked about this.
roleplay.
on
I feel like
our
everyone
channel.
knows.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been playing the game since 07, so.
People, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Give
we
us
should roleplay.
scenes.
We'll make Justin do it.
Give us scenes. Give us scenes. Your favorite scenes from the Uncharted games. Any game from the series.
But not from
Like,
Golden
no.
Abyss, no.
Not from Golden. Well,
Not-
yeah,
not that-
I've only
not
played
that
Golden.
Just
Abyss
give me
once.
5 for Fortune. And
Are we seriously doing this?
No, we're
It
not.
would be fun.
This
it
is
would
a
be fun.
where are we going
Pick
with this?
cards from the board game, and I'll tell you what it says on it.
I'd rather do Uncharted for Monopoly than reenact.
Hey, when me and
Oh,
Josh
wait, yeah,
when me
Ryan
and
has
Josh
that,
did
doesn't
it
he?
for fun. It was actually pretty cool.
No,
But yeah,
that was.
Anyways.
Yeah, when it's like midnight and you don't give a crap.
I remembered like 3 lines, and everything else is just Justin talking.
Remember, it's either crap.
Nobody
or
send in
El Dorado.
scenes, please. Nobody send
Send in the
scenes.
scenes. Send in the scenes.
Forget that.
No.
Send in questions related to
Send in
anything.
yeah, why
else
don't we
to see.
mention that in the beginning of the podcast from now on?
That's what
So
Jaden
Drew doesn't
said,
have to
and we
tweet
did
it
it
out.
once.
Questions.
No.
Or you could just go on Blue's Twitter account since he has freaking like so many freaking followers.
I have more followers, and Blue gets more replies on his tweets and likes. Like,
I
what
feel
is
like
this?
'Cause
I
they're
think
all
Blue paid
Spyro
for all them
fans.
followers.
'Cause they're
Oh,
all
yeah.
Spyro fans. Unleash the Dragon. Hashtag Unleash the Dragon.
Unleash
You know, when Last of Us tweet got 30, that was the most likes I ever got. Not at all Spyro related, but okay.
All right, who have I not asked yet? Did I ask Blue yet? What have you been
No.
playing? Okay, what have you been playing?
The other week I didn't play. I only played like an hour of Mega Man X because I was doing that video. But this past week, I did another playthrough of The Last of Us. And I'm currently playing Resident Evil 4 again, which I haven't played in like 9 years. And I think it's interesting. I didn't particularly play them for any particular reason, but it's interesting to see how much The Last of Us took inspiration from Resident Evil 4 in terms of like mechanics and stuff like that, and even like certain aspects of the storytelling. But yeah, I've just been playing Last of Us and Resident Evil 4. That's pretty much
Wait,
it.
which one's 4? Is
The one with
which
Leon
one's the-
and
okay, 'cause
Ashley.
I don't really
The
remember.
best
I
one?
remember playing
The
it kinda as
GameCube
a-
game.
Yeah, it's the
Okay,
GameCube.
yes.
Yeah, it is. It's the GameCube one.
Which one's the one on? Which one was the first one that came out on PS3?
PS3. I
Was
think
it
it was
5?
5.
Resident Evil 5.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
5.
I don't,
Pushing
That
it
was
bold.
that's
Pushing
more
it
action
bold.
though.
I played
Don't
4
play
or
that
5.
one.
I don't remember which one. But
Play
anyway,
4. Play 4.
4 is
okay.
easily the best one in my opinion.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And then 2, then 3, then 1.
I want to play 4.
We don't even
I
talk
own the
about
game,
5 and
just haven't gotten
6.
into it.
Let's not talk about 5 and 6. Let's not talk about.
Let's
Five's
not
the
talk about
first one I
fucking
actually
pushing
played as
bold
a kid.
hills.
Oh, dude. They weren't actually. To be fair, they weren't bad games. They were just proper shit Resident Evil games. Like, why that was the title, I have no idea because it's not Resident Evil. at
5
all,
was
but
not Resident Evil at all.
4 is the last one that was really Resident Evil. But yeah, I've
Well,
been loving
7.
playing it again because it's been
7.
years since I've played this. It's bullshit that it does not have a platinum. Like I didn't know that. Like why does every game not have a platinum? It makes no sense. Mayo
No,
gets
not
one and
even
Resident
Mayo.
Evil 4 doesn't. Tell me how that works.
Mayo.
Man.
Oh man. Oh yeah, did you know Jaden got his second platinum trophy?
What game?
Whoa!
Oh,
The Walking
the
Dead season
Telltale
1.
game.
Dead Telltale season 1.
Oh, Walking Dead
Oh.
season 1. I was about to say that because that's how I'm playing that yesterday.
Oh god, casual gaming.
He's
Fuck.
building up a really
I just
respectable
saw. I
list
just
there.
saw in like the PS4 section. It's what's new. It's like
Yeah.
Jaden was just like
Jaden got a platinum
super
trophy.
Proud, super proud of this trophy.
And then just
He actually
everyone
posted
face
in the What's New?
I'm pretty sure
anybody
that's where I
use
saw it,
What's
in the-
New?
in the What's New?
I never use
Because I
What's
turned off
New.
I turned on my PS4 and I instantly saw it at the bottom section. Anyways, yeah. I'll get into the games what I played this week. So I played a bit more of Assassin's Creed Origins. I kind of took a break. Played since, just basically I've been preoccupied with Call of Duty World War II. So Assassin's Creed Origins, Call of Duty World War II, and I also got Need for Speed sale yesterday because I had a 20% off coupon. You know my poll actually got 55 votes, right? Surprisingly.
55?
And you know
We all
how
know.
originally it was like 100% said like wait for a sale.
Yeah.
It finished with 40% day one and 60% wait for a sale.
Probably the Fast and Furious fans found it. Like, on
Yeah.
Ryan created about 20 accounts.
Twitter. Nah,
Yeah,
Ty.
anyways, yeah, I ended up buying it because I was just like, okay, even if it's gonna go on sale, it's only gonna go on sale physically, so I might as well just buy it digitally since I like digital. So I got it for like $60 Canadian. I played like the first an hour and a half so far, and it's alright so far. It's pretty fun. It's whatever. It's nothing special.
You're gonna be buying what's it called, L.A. Noire for the PS4?
LA Noire on Tuesday. Yes, plan is to buy it. It's only
Platinum.
$50 Canadian, which is good. I wish the the coupon I had, it expires on Monday. It expired on Tuesday. I would have gotten LA Noire 20% off as well. So literally just like one day.
I got COD.
Doesn't it
20%
count, is
off,
it
by
game,
the way,
does it
since
have
you're
to be
mentioning
games that
that.
are already out, or can you use it on like pre-orders and
No,
stuff?
yeah, that's the thing. You
It's
can't
only on
pre-order it.
PlayStation
You
Store.
can't pre-order. You have to like
Yeah.
wait. You have to like freaking wait until it gets released.
If it expires on Monday, couldn't you just do it on? Oh wait, no, you're an ES.
No, it ends at 11:50.
9
The coupon
PM.
ends at 11:59, and then LA
It's a
Noire
little bit minute
Noire
right
will be
before
available
it
at
comes
12.
on.
So
Does Need for
sucks.
Speed have any microtransactions, or is that clean?
Yeah, it does.
I think there is.
It does?
I'm pretty sure it does, yeah.
Oh, I thought it didn't. Oh, I feel so.
Mm.
Pre-order
Pretty sure.
and get tire smoke and
Honestly, for
Oh,
the
yeah,
end
I
of
do
the-
remember
car
that.
lights, car lights.
Yeah, the cooling lights in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
God.
And the
that
under
was some-
under the car, you can get those. lights or whatever they're called.
Jeez. That's one thing. I like as much as I hate MTs, I also hate people that pre-order games because it's so pointless.
Is recommend
buy day
right?
one.
Anyone who wants to play, if you're not going to review a game, any of us, and it's you want to play a game like COD or Star Wars Battlefront 2, right? And it's got microtransactions, but you don't want to support it. Tip: go to like a game store, like we have CEX in the UK. I don't know if that's in the America, and
Right.
buy a game second hand or pre-owned or whatever the fuck you want to call it, used at a shop, because the publisher doesn't get any money when you buy a game second hand. That money goes straight to the retailer. So you're basically, and you're getting at a reduced price, and you're still getting to play the game, and you're basically giving the biggest middle finger you possibly can to the publisher. So
I mean, the only
next
reason
time like
I would-
COD comes out and you don't get it day one, wait,
Yeah,
and then go to a store and get it second hand, because you'll get it cheaper. You'll still get to play it, and you're not supporting the absolute atrocity that is microtransactions.
That's not even what I was alluding to. Like, even if you're gonna buy a game day one, like just buy it day one. Don't pre-order the game and give your money before like the reviews come out. Like, it's just stupid. Like, you're not benefiting at all from it.
I
You're
feel
giving
like
your money early.
Well,
That's
the only reason why
Just
I
buy
did
it day
was
one.
because I was playing it right away when it launched. So I
But
already
can't
had
you just
it
wait till the
pre-downloaded.
morning to play it? Like, let
Nah.
it download overnight if the
I
reviews are
played at
good.
midnight. I played at midnight.
Yeah, but you're gonna play it for like what, an hour, and then you're gonna go to bed.
Like,
I don't know. I mean,
like
to me,
2
that's
hours.
just stupid. Like, you're already like giving your money before reviews even come out.
Yeah, but what's the difference?
reviews are already out by that point.
Bef-
by the way.
well, it depends on what game.
I don't know.
It's
I
called.
mean,
You didn't get
A
it till-
lot of
it's not
games.
It's not
Because
like
he
I'm
remember he
pre-ordering,
pre-ordered
like-
AC like weeks advance before it came out.
Yeah.
But like they
We-
chose to load by day
No,
one
so-
sales, don't they? Or do they do it by pre-orders?
Well, it's just like I don't know. It's just stupid. Like, just buy it day one, like after the reviews come out.
Well, buy it second hand if it's got microtransactions in. That's the best thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can still play it that week. Because second hand, generally, it's you get second hand like a day or two after the game's out. So just wait
Like, I
a
believe
few
for
days.
Crash, what I did is I waited right for the reviews, and once the reviews were good, then I pre-ordered it. I mean, not that I really not pre-ordered, but like I got the digital thing. No, I didn't even pre-order Crash. That's right. I went to a store and bought it. That's
Mm.
right. Like a bunch. I think I bought it later that day. I think. Oh no, I did go to the store that night, and then I remember talking to Blue about it. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah. I don't know. I just really don't like pre-orders, cause it just there's no point in spending money early when you're not gonna get anything really out of it. Cause all the day one bonuses that quote unquote you get if you buy it within the first week of the game coming out at a store.
Yeah. I'm not against pre-ordering entirely because it's the certain developers that I know I can trust. So like I know Monster Hunter's
Yeah.
just gonna be fine because the last fucking 8. You are. Oh my god.
Jesus, that was loud.
Because the last like 8 Monster Hunter games have all been at least good, so I know this one's gonna be good. And from the
Yeah.
features I've read, I know it's gonna be. So I'm okay with pre-ordering that. But if it's a game where it's like 50, like Anthem, which is just fucked by the way, and like I'm unsure about it, or it's a scummy developer or a shit business practice, for the love of God, don't pre-order it because you're giving them money and you don't know if it's gonna be good. Whereas if it's like with a Naughty Dog, you know it's gonna be at least fine.
Yeah.
Not most of the time. They could make an off chance on a shit game, but like it's better to take the gamble because you know.
99% sure that
Exactly. You're 99% sure, and they've got a good track record of giving good games. That's why I pre-ordered like Crash Bandicoot and a few other games. So it's why I'm pre-ordering Ni no Kuni 2 and Monster Hunter because I know they're gonna be fine. But like with a game with like microtransactions in or some shit business, but for the love of God, don't pre-order it. Just wait.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. I just like I think the only times I pre-order is like if I'm gonna get like a collector's edition.
Oh yeah. That's fair enough.
Yeah,
Just
I think
basically
Last
me.
of Us is like the one game I didn't pre-order from Naughty Dog, and I got the last copy at my game store. Like I almost didn't even get Last of Us the day when it came out.
I can remember getting the Joel edition from Tesco because that was the only place it was available. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Joel
I got the
edition?
same one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
the
did.
Steelbook
Joel.
edition. No, you could get the Ellie edition and the Joel edition. It was 2 different cover arts, I think.
They were
Yeah,
like a
Steelbook.
canvas
Pretty-
packaging.
You know, it's weird.
Yeah,
I really
poster.
just don't like. I don't like steelbooks. Like it's just.
Oh,
it
I
doesn't
love
look good in my
Steelbooks. I
collection.
love
I
them
do.
so much.
Like I like them,
feel
but
that.
it just looks. It comes out of the way. Like I like the Uncharted 4 one, but I'd rather have the PS4 thing. Jesus, Ryan. It's
Ryan's
telemarketing
very
hitting you hard. Like
Full
I do
calls.
like it, but I wish they would give you another case with it. Like how hard is that?
What do you mean?
'Cause, You know.
Some games do that. I know.
lot of
Like
them
with the
don't.
other case as well, the standard one.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't have the
My
standard
Last of Us,
Uncharted 4
you know,
one.
my Last of Us one came with both.
when I got Splinter Cell Blacklist.
My Uncharted 4 one.
Both.
Yeah, I wish I
My
got that
Uncharted 4
standard
one
Uncharted
only gave
4
me
case
the
as
what's
well.
called.
I hate the
Jesus
Uncharted 4
Christ,
standard case. Shit, it's just Drake stood there with a fucking gun.
Yeah, I know. I
It's
know.
not-
Just don't
it-
have the
I'd say it's
standard
the
case for all
worst
the
one
other ones.
out of all of them. Maybe equal of Uncharted 1, but I don't know. I just think it's too basic.
So I have the
overall.
Libertalia edition, and I only have the Steelbook case. Like I don't
Yeah.
have
The
any
Steelbook
case
case
with
is
it.
so
just,
nice.
it's-
So
it's-
nice.
it is so nice, but it like
But
I wish I
like
would have
what?
the other case
Like
too, because
what?
I like the other cover as well.
Bullshit.
For me, it depends on the
How is
cover
that
art,
bull-
really. Like, I
What?
got the Persona 5 standard edition because I prefer the box art on it to the Steelbook edition, whereas with The
Yeah,
Last
well, no,
Guardian, because I don't like the normal
I
cover art,
phrased
got
what I
the
said
Steelbook.
wrong. Like I like Steelbooks. I don't like when they don't include the other cover with it.
It just depends on the box art for me, really. If it's a shit box art on the standard cover, I'll try and go for a Steelbook. If the Steelbook
Uncharted
shit, I'll
4
go for a
ones-
standard.
Just
Are
like
you guys
the-
gonna get a blue? Oh wait, no. Are they gonna have a collector's edition for Monster Hunter?
Yeah, oh my god, they've already showed pictures of it. It looks insane. You get a statue with it. It's fucking crazy. It looks so good.
Are
The
you gonna
box art and
you're gonna
everything,
Pre-order
it's-
that? You're gonna pre-order that? right?
Probably it's 100. They haven't said the British price yet. They've only said $150. But like, I don't know if that's gonna translate to English money or if it's just £150 as well. Because I know
It
sometimes
should be 150 pounds.
yeah, that's what it normally
Should
would
be
be.
pounds,
So
yes.
probably, I don't know. Because I like the Nino Kuni 2 collector's edition as well. So I'm kind of torn. And they come
What
out within a
about-
week
what
of each other.
about- What about God of War? Are you guys gonna get a collector's edition for that?
Yep.
No,
I might actually get God of War.
I'll probably get
maybe.
Steelbook if the
That's
Steelbook's
some of my
nice box
most
art.
anticipated game.
It depends. If they do a collector's edition that's over £100, probably won't be able to get it. If they do a limited edition that's like, I don't know, 80 to 90, I'd probably get it.
Yeah.
But I find the only game I've paid over £100 for, which
Well,
was
the only ones that do that
Uncharted
is
4.
COD. COD's like the
Yeah,
one-
I'd
No,
only
it's
do
not.
it
It's
if
not
it's
just
a
COD.
game, like,
COD's
I know-
actually less than that usually.
No,
90%.
I'd only go like that
No,
high
but, like-
price if it's like a game that I am like
Usually-
ridiculous over, like
Yeah,
Monster
yeah,
Hunter or
yeah,
Nino
like that.
Kuni.
Usually,
I did it for Uncharted 4
usually
because I got the
collector's
Drake
edition,
figure.
usually collector's
That's
editions
basically it.
are around like 120 for like PlayStation exclusives.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's what like, yeah, that's like the ones I usually see them priced at. The only ones that I know that you can get special editions are usually AAA games that are like 80, 90, like 100, like gold editions that Ubisoft does, or like pro editions.
I
You know
hate
what?
gold
You know,
editions.
I had to buy my statue separately because they didn't have the freaking Libertalia edition in Canada. And it's so
Yeah.
stupid. If you go on Amazon, they don't even allow you to ship it to here.
It's odd.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what the hell?
But the thing is, I've got to choose wisely with the collector's edition one because like those first 2 months of 2018 are just absolutely crazy. There's 3 indie games coming out that I want. There's Nino Kuni comes out, and then a week later it's Monster Hunter, and then 2 weeks later it's Shadow of the Colossus. So it's like that's going to be like £300 for me in just like the space of like 3 weeks. And then we get into spring with like God of War and everything. and it's like,
After I buy what's it called LA Noir on Tuesday, I'm actually gonna be so broke.
yeah, I'm glad I've saved
I
money on
spent so
COD
much
and
money this
Assassin's
fall.
Creed now because there's no
I
point in
don't
buying
think
them
I'm
now.
gonna buy
I
any
don't
other
need-
game for the rest of the year. I think I'm gonna get Wolfenstein 2 on sale at Black Friday because it'll be 25.
Hell yeah.
I don't think
That's-
I'm gonna get
that's
Assassin's
crazy.
Creed.
It's
Maybe
cheap.
I will,
It's cheap.
but I don't know if I'm really
Don't
gonna
buy
go
it.
for that.
Don't
Wait,
buy
I
is,
probably won't buy it.
I don't think anyone
Well, I'm not
has,
gonna let
but
you affect it. I'm just based on my personal opinion. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get
Has anyone here played Wolfenstein 2? I don't think any of us have we?
it. No.
Not
I'm
yet,
gonna
so
get
we'll
that
be
game
done.
on Black Friday.
Yeah,
Well,
I will be.
That's the one game I really want to play right now. And that's the weird thing. I like Destiny, Call of Duty. I'm gonna be buying shooters like galore. Jeez. But I don't think I'm. Is anybody else here gonna be buying Battlefront 2? Because I'm not.
Nope.
Probably.
If I get a
not,
review copy, then
Nope. Nope.
Yep.
no.
Fuck
but
yeah.
I'm not. I don't intend to buy it.
Screw Star Wars.
I'm not gonna buy it. Hey, you all said to be hyped for EA's E3 press conference.
I didn't say get hyped. Okay, I
Okay.
said I was looking forward to it.
I don't remember that. Oh, it's gonna be better than Microsoft.
Because we all thought we were going
Oh, like, you're all delusional.
You
Yeah,
ever gonna
what?
let that go? Good God, fuck me.
Oh my god, that was hella funny. And like you're all shot. Okay, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, you know
What
what?
else
Let's
are
move
we
on to the Paris Games we discussion because we've been talking for so long.
Alright.
All right. So yeah, since
we
we didn't
have,
talk
like-
last week, or we didn't have
Speaking of
podcasts-
PlayStation exclusives, 5 minutes ago, guess what PlayStation exclusive was shown at Paris Games Week? Oh, the way it was all of them, wasn't it? So I
A
don't know.
lot of them, except for Days Gone,
Except for
except
yeah,
for Death Stranding, and except for Dreams.
we should have
Dreams
all
is
written down
dead.
the.
Nah.
Dreams is not dead. Oh
Dreams
yeah, let's
is
talk
a
about
dead
Dreams.
game on arrival. Let's just organize a fucking
Alright.
funeral for it, please.
Okay, let's give an order. So let's go on Paris Games Week. I think we also have some like questions, right?
Quick recap.
Yeah.
We'll do that
People
later.
about
We'll
Paris
do the
Games Week.
questions that close it off. With questions.
Might as well
Alright,
do
so-
them depending on the topic, because some of them are released at Paris Games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
who are you doing the podcast with? That one's from the start.
Yeah, that one's right directed at Paris Games.
So far we got Blue Danger, we got Josh, Justin, Mule Kick Media, Online, and RVGT.
It's great.
Or Ryan,
All right.
the
So,
fastest irritator.
There's your
well,
chance, Jaden. Hope you like that answer.
Paris
Very
Games
good.
Week recap. I guess we can just start the recap with a question from Awesome Eric. Good viewer. Everybody.
Awesome Eric.
Oh wait, no,
What about-
actually, that's not the question. That's not
The
the question.
Salty
Sorry about
Yagi question. Salty
I was
Yagi
gonna say,
asks,
what are you reading?
how does the
Yeah.
quantity of features or content that was shown at Paris Games Week change our expectations for PSX?
Well, we know now.
Yeah, they're not having
Yeah,
it.
well, now we know
Yeah,
now.
it's non-existent.
I mean, we're gonna get Dreams and Ghost of Tsushima possibly.
No, that game is bad.
We're not,
I
you're not
hate
getting
Sony,
Kojima.
so-
You're not getting Kojima. You're not getting Kojima.
Well, that's gonna be at
bet you
Game
that- I
Awards.
bet you he shows another trailer, probably
Awards.
showing like
We got a trailer again,
female
I don't wanna be
character
pissed.
this time.
All about that
And,
equality.
Yeah, so it'll be like last year. Yeah, just like
You guys don't think we're gonna see
Or something.
gameplay?
no,
No.
For what, Last of Us?
No,
for
No,
Death
for Death
Stranding.
Stranding.
Oh,
I think
Death
we're
Death
just gonna see
Stranding.
a trailer. We're gonna see
I
another
feel like
trailer.
it's too soon, but I don't know. After the
I-
whole Del Toro thing, like
I mean, we might not see gameplay like a demo, but we might get
I mean,
like a
it
trailer
depends.
with some kind of gameplay in it.
Yeah.
Or
We're
at least some
definitely gonna hear
hidden
from.
game-
I think we're definitely gonna hear from Death Stranding, for sure.
oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
Jeff and Kojima are like
Bum
best
buddies.
friends.
Come on, boys.
So somebody's gotta save.
BFF.
That'd be Jeff.
Extremely close
Love you,
BFF.
Jeff.
All right.
You've always been there for me.
I love
I
you.
will say I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if we see gameplay. All right.
They might do something like they did for Metal Gear Solid 5 at E3 2014, I think it was.
What, when
Like
they
it wasn't
were
like
like-
No, no,
straight
no,
up
it was
gameplay,
tw-
but it was more like a gameplay trailer.
was
instead of demo.
2013.
Oh,
That was
2013.
2013, I
Oh,
think.
okay.
With the gameplay?
I don't know.
And then
Yeah,
and then
the
maybe a
gameplay trailer
panel.
with
Do you think
the-
they'll have
him
another
smoking
panel?
the Phantom
Maybe a panel
cigar?
at PSX.
At PSX,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah,
I'd imagine.
there's
I'd imagine
gonna be,
Kojima
there's
has
gonna be
to do
panel
something.
discussions, but it just depends on who. I think Naughty Dog will probably have one. I would imagine.
Yeah, for sure. I think so.
I think Dreams is definitely gonna have one because I think Meal Cake. No, I keep saying Meal Cake.
Meal
Media
Cake.
Molecule and Sucker Punch are both gonna be at PSX this year, which they've never done before. So I hope they have a
I
panel.
hope they have a
of some
good
sort.
panel. Sucker Punch.
We know Ghost of Tsushima is definitely gonna get a panel. I think Dreams is also gonna get a panel too, or at least Media Molecule. So
I wonder.
we'll have to see.
I wonder if they're gonna show off like new trailers and stuff at their thing. You know, like
They said
So
that
we're
they
talking
provide
about
game
PlayStation.
updates as well as on a
Okay,
few
but what-
titles,
what
as well
is- what
as.
is
Yeah.
a game update?
They said some
though?
surprises
What is
too,
a
like
game update.
Yeah,
Like,
but I mean, we've got all we need to know. They're
game
not
update
calling-
is
they're not
showing God of
calling it-
War
I hope we see
logo and
Days
giving
Gone.
a
I hope
date.
we see Days Gone.
No, but we've got what we know. They're not calling it a showcase, so they're not taking it seriously at all. Clearly, or they would call it a showcase. So clearly, it's just gonna be. It's got to be. We're gonna get dates because if they don't get dates, that's fucking embarrassing. Like the games are all out in like 2-3 months. You'd have to imagine. So that's
Yeah.
like that is genuinely embarrassing if they don't have dates at that point.
Unless God of War gets delayed, as well as the other.
Nah.
God of War's not
I
getting
don't
delayed.
think
We
they
just saw
delayed
early
that.
2018 at Paris Games Week.
But we
Well,
saw
they
we saw
delayed
early
it there.
2016 for Uncharted 4. I'm pretty sure, or was it early
Spring
2015?
2016? But they say spring 2016. That's
But they
Did
just
they?
said that like a week or two ago.
And
That's
don't forget,
amazing.
new game up to or surprises
Like
doesn't
stuff.
account for just
Yeah.
AAA. It also accounts for indies, which they
Yeah.
probably will show because it's an
yeah.
also for indies and shit. So you can
Wait.
imagine it's just going to be like dates and windows. Then it'll be like some VR and indie shit, and then
Wait.
you might get like one announcement if you're lucky.
Where's Mike Bithell?
We might get a couple announcements, and that's why they're trying to like
Small
tone
scale
down
ones
type.
though. I wouldn't imagine anything like
Yeah.
fucking From
Well, I mean, they
Software
could still
something.
be like.
They hyped
they
up
could still
Paris
be
Games
certain
Week saying it was the
stuff,
second half of E3. If this was going to be big, then they would have like hyped it up, saying it's a showcase, not just updates. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to make a bold prediction that probably won't happen, but I think we'll see a new game from Mike Bithell. So
Who the
Oh
heck
yeah,
is
that's
that?
probably likely actually.
yeah, because it's
Okay.
what was it? Volume was like 2
Volume
years
was his
ago.
last game. Yeah,
So
Mm.
that was a few years ago now.
mhm.
So it'll be shit like that. It won't be anything big, which is such.
When are we gonna hear from?
fucking-
Come on.
I hate that so much, and I hate the way Sony are acting as if they just had some mega conference at Paris Games Week, when they didn't in any respect at all.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
it's annoying because PSX is always my favorite show. Out of everyone every year, it's PSX ever since it's been a thing.
Same
looks like
because you get
fun.
the keynotes at. You get the what's it called the panels. At
It's
the end.
just so good. It's paced amazingly. They've got amazing announcements for everyone: Japanese crowds, indie crowd, VR crowds, and then the open and close with a big AAA announcement. It's like, oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah.
but they've
It's like a balanced conference. It's nice.
It's amazing. It's paced well. There's so much energy in the crowd. I love that. There's
Yeah,
always
the crowd's
so
the best
much
part.
energy in the crowd.
Everybody yelling LA.
Shoo hey. It's just it's
Oh
fucking
my
amazing.
gosh. And Gio Corsi coming on. I'm gonna miss that. And the Vita.
Yeah, it's so good. When they announced East Origins was coming to Vita, that everyone's just going Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, everyone's just going absolutely insane. Oh, it
Yeah,
was
I'm
such an
disappointed.
amazing show,
It
especially
sucks.
2016, and then they've dicked it for what should have been a filler event. Paris Games Week should have just
Yeah.
been get show dates and clear up some space for PSX. And it's not.
I don't know why they did that. Like,
Fix it.
why specifically did they?
It makes no
Paris
sense because
Games Week?
the whole point of PSX was to get away from E3 so that they could have multiple events in a year, and then now they've
Yeah.
dicked PSX, which was their second event. For
Well, I mean, PSX
Paris
is meant
Games
to be
Week.
kind of like a PAX where it's like more hands-on.
What'd you say?
I said Paris. I mean,
What did-
PSX is mainly supposed to be kind of like PlayStation's PAX in the December. At least that's what Shuhei said when I was at PSX at a panel.
Kind of, but it's a bit
That's-
it's a bit bigger than
no
PAX
idea.
with the announcements and shit.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what
Um,
he was saying. He was like, PSX are not really known for big announcements. And this was 2015, so he could just be trying to save his ass by like that disappointing conference.
Yeah.
But 2016, it seemed like they started to turn it around and actually started to make it.
Yeah, try to
Okay.
actually put some more effort into it.
I mean, it's just really weird. Like, I don't see how Neil, like, and everybody at Naughty Dog would choose to show this thing at Paris Games Week.
Paris
over
Games Week's
PSX,
like the European
assuming-
equivalent of Tokyo Game Show. It really
Yeah.
because PlayStation
Yeah.
wanted them to.
No, it was because
I mean, it's
I think it was
possible,
clearly because of the
but-
timing of it. Because everyone's saying it was because of the Xbox One X. No, it wasn't. Because the Xbox One X is going to flop in sales. It was because Nintendo
Oh,
have
predictions.
had headlines for fucking months, non-stop.
Yeah, but
It's
that's
always
my
been
point.
Switcher on top with the sales. Then Mario came out, and no one shut up about Mario since it's been out.
Yeah, I think they
Rightfully
should-
so. But that so it was kind of like to deviate attention away from Nintendo and
Yeah.
more on PlayStation. Like, look, we've got Sucker Punch's game, and now people are talking about PlayStation again, and they're talking about PSX now. So it's sort of like the talk about Nintendo's mellowed down a bit,
Mm.
but people saying it's about the Xbox One X. No, it's
Yeah.
not. Like, get that
Yeah,
out your
it
head.
wouldn't surpri-
Nintendo's their main competitor now because they've been getting outsold by the Switch like 6 months consecutively, bar one. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Paris Games Week should have just been a filler conference, and it wasn't, and that's done my fucking head in.
It's disappointing. Like, it would have been so cool to see Sucker Punches. I mean, it doesn't matter, I guess, but like, it matters to me. Like, I'd rather see it at PSX with the crowd and everything.
I don't even give a fuck about Sucker Punch's game. I just give a fuck about like indie games and VR games and just the hype. It's just such a hype event. It's so good.
Yeah,
But it's annoying, man.
yeah. So, do you guys think we're still gonna see Last of Us before the end of the year, or do you think that we're gonna next see it at E3?
I honestly
'Cause
doubt
Neil
we
did
will
say at the
now.
end of his blog post, he said we're not gonna have to wait that long. I know we've already like joked around. saying
But
that.
Neil's
But-
last interpretation of in the coming months was like 10 months later. So it's
Yeah.
like we honestly don't know how to interpret that really.
The,
But
the thing is, though, even if it wasn't a PSX and it was at E3, it'd still be less time than what we waited.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah,
got
Yeah,
to.
well, that's what I was
So-
gonna say. I mean, no.
I mean, you never know. They might have a
But
panel,
that's-
and there might be like a very small segment of like something in the gameplay, like just something in the world that they might show. For
Maybe more
instance,
concept art or some bullshit like that.
Like, I just remember, like,
Get
it felt like
three
just
more
yesterday we
pictures
were
of
talking about E3,
concept
now we're gonna have
art.
to wait till then to see Last of Us again. So it's kind of like crazy.
you know what? I really hope that if so, like, I mean, they've already. I mean, just dipping into that theory, but like, if this turns out to be a sister or if it's
Yeah.
her mum or whatever, I really hope they don't say anything about that before launch.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
we still
know,
have
right?
a decent year at least to go before we move into the year of the game.
Yeah.
So like, that's a year that they've got to keep tight-lipped completely.
They give away
As much as I
some.
want to see Last of Us, I just like it'd actually be a good thing if we don't see it till E3. Thinking about it.
I don't think we should have shown it at Paris Games Week. I think they should have, if they were going to show it anyway, show it at PSX because it's a fan event, and they can. Because this is the thing: if they're going to have a panel, they've got to show something at PSX. Because there would be no. If you watch the panel, I watched it the other week for that video.
Yeah.
In the panel, they were so tight-lipped about everything, and that's when they had a trailer. Imagine them having a panel when they didn't show anything. Imagine how little they'd have.
They
to
can't
talk
really
about
refer to
genuinely.
anything besides the Paris Games Week showing.
Besides the Paris Games Week showing, yeah.
But then it's like the news has already been out for a while, and people already
Exactly.
have their own theories and stuff. So,
Yeah.
So they've got to show.
So
It's
maybe they'll
it's
show
annoying,
off.
man. I
Like,
think
maybe they'll show off like maybe like a 1 to 2 minute teaser trailer again.
I'm not gonna show off a trailer, dude.
I wouldn't
Again,
mind if they
they're
showed
not
off.
gonna show off
Just
a trailer.
less is more, really, for me. I
They
want
wouldn't show
I want
off
them
a
to show
trailer
gameplay
again,
though. So because once they show gameplay, I'm gonna stop watching because that's all I want to see now. Because they
The
keep
next thing they will show is gameplay. That's what I'm betting
Part
on.
of me
Oh, you can-
doesn't want to see anymore, and then like I don't know,
Yeah.
the other part of me wants to see.
I just want to see gameplay, and then I don't give a fuck what they show after that. I'm
Well,
gonna
no,
drop
I
out
still want to
after
see gameplay. I don't know what you're gonna talk about.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just really want that gameplay reveal.
Gameplay at close off E3 2018.
Oh god.
Yeah.
We're already talking about that.
I don't know.
Exactly. I feel like Justin won't even be watching. He'll be uploading a Spider-Man reaction.
Where he
No,
spent,
Spider-Man will be out by
where he
then. What do
spends
you mean?
95% of that video just
You don't know that?
screen.
What do you mean? Spider-Man will be out before E3 2018 probably.
No, I think it come out in June.
Nah, I think it'll be
It
after.
could be like
I
Last
think
of
it'll be
Us.
after.
You think it'll be
Yeah,
after?
I'm thinking it might
Yeah.
be after. It
I
might
think
be like a
July or
summer
August.
title.
I mean, I don't think like too long after. I think maybe like about a month after. I'd say.
July or
I think-
August.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be May.
No,
I
it's
think
not-
it'll be
what do
like
you mean? It's coming out
second half
first
of
half.
June.
it's coming out in the
earliest.
first 6 months. It's gotta be.
I think it'll be. I think yeah.
Oh,
That's what I'm
did they?
saying. Second half of June.
They already said that.
I think
Okay, fair
second half
enough.
of June.
Well,
Yeah.
all right. So they'll probably have their conference June.
Could come out like a
17th.
week before E3.
Yeah.
June 17th.
Which is,
so
I
they'll
believe,
have
what
their
Last of Us
conference
did.
year five.
Yeah, they
I
did
don't
that
think
with
so.
Last of Us. It came out like a week before E3. Everyone was so pissed off.
No, wait.
I
No,
remember-
it
I
came out
remember
a
that.
week
I
after
remember that.
E3. No, it came out. Wait, didn't it come out? No.
No, it
was
came out
June
the week before.
14th.
It came out before
Yeah,
E3.
it
That's
did.
right. Wait, but then they showed a trailer off for Last of Us.
Probably to just push it.
They're like, yeah,
So they showed off a trailer before
it's
the
out
game,
now.
like after the game out.
It's out now.
They didn't do that.
I'm trying to remember because then what was the last
Yo,
one?
what would you do? What would you do?
June
I'm gonna look
14th.
this up. I'm gonna look this up.
June 13th.
So
No,
yeah,
I'm
that
sure-
was definitely after E3. Then that was after E3.
Blue
What day
got
was it?
exposed.
E3 2013 Sony conference day. I don't know.
What day was it? That they released?
June 14th.
June 14th. I believe it was a Friday.
That could be. That could be before.
Yeah, it was that Friday after. So it was like Monday and then Friday. Last of Us came out. Yeah, I was right.
So it
It
was the
came
week
out
of
after
E3, not the week before.
Yeah, well, same thing after E3. That's what I was saying.
Alright.
I mean, that's what I think Spider-Man will do. I think it'll be like second half of June. I don't know.
We'll see.
That's my gut.
We'll see. We'll see. One more
I
question. about
mean, it
Paris
could be
Games
May,
Week.
but I don't know.
There's one more. From Bruce Wayne at Ape Downs, also a good viewer of ours. He says favorite showing at Paris Games Week and why.
So favorite showing and why? Originally, I wasn't really that impressed by much of the stuff. It didn't really change my opinion on all the first party games.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Last of Us because you weren't excited because you didn't even know it was Last of Us.
Blue's the one that thought it was Ellie. Let's remember
Fuck
that.
off, at least I knew what game it was, mate. Calm down.
That looked like Days Gone. People were hanging and everything. It looked just like what we saw at E3. There's no way. That did not look like Last of Us.
Dude, the,
did,
visual, the,
fam,
visual,
it
the way Naughty
did.
Dog do visual
Visually,
fidelity is
sure,
to have
but
someone
I was
speak-
watching
you
a
have to-
stream that was like in
someone-
480p.
Please stop trying to
Something-
explain yourself.
No, you thought it was Days Gone,
No,
but it
it's
doesn't
way
look
more
like-
respectable that I thought it was Days Gone than respectable to think that was Ellie of all people.
What the fuck? How's that work?
She's muscular as hell. There's no way that's Ellie.
Hang on, the
Oh,
visual,
oh,
the way Naughty Dog do
There's
visual
no way.
design,
Stop
they
trying to spin
have
that around.
they have a part of like the skin
I was
or
watching a
somewhere on the
stream that
body.
was like
Do-
720p. It doesn't matter.
No, they have to some part of the body like sweating or something. They always have that in the game when it's like on Ellie's arm or whoever the fuck it was in the trailer, his arm was sweating, down the right hand side, and that's how you
man,
can
those
depict it
grunts
with the
are
visual
telling.
design. But it doesn't really matter because everyone made rash statements. So
I will
it's-
say
it's
that I
just-
knew it was Laura Bailey immediately. I knew it was Laura Bailey.
How
It's
did
not-
you?
it's not-
I've seen people
I
saying
was
this
about
on
to say
Twitter.
Nadine. It was Laura Bailey. It sounded just like Nadine.
She was grunting. How the fuck does it sound like me? She
It
was
does.
going,
Listen
I
back
think
to
what he
it.
means
Listen
is-
back
he
to it. It
said-
sounds just like
no, there was a
Nadine.
grunt in the gameplay demo that I looked back on, and it did sound similar to like.
Well,
the
if you
ones
know
that she's-
now,
Yeah.
No,
No,
but I
no,
originally
no, I
thought that.
noticed that when
I
I
could tell
first
you. You might not
watched it, but
believe
I
me, but I
heard it
originally
before
heard
then.
that, and I was gonna say Nadine, but I'd sound so stupid if I said it was Nadine.
said it was
honestly.
Lara Croft.
Nadine
it
had
sounded
a
like
skin
Lara
I
shot.
said
Croft.
possibly, but
You
then
said
immediately
Laura.
said after that it's an exclusive title.
I said Laura.
At least I wasn't dead on thinking it
I
was
love
Ellie.
how
That's
I
BS.
love how your reaction the whole time is like, yeah, amazing. And then at the end,
I
you
was
just see
I
the
know I was
clicker-
split between Last
the
of Us and
clicker-
Days Gone. I wasn't
The
even.
clicker comes
That's the
and
thing,
you're
I
like,
was-
yeah,
I was
wait,
immediately
was that Last of
50-50.
Us?
Yo, let me talk. Stop talking over
I'm
me.
a real hardcore gamer.
50-50. I thought it was Days Gone and Last of Us. Blue 100% thought it was Ellie. So
That's
But
more
no, like,
respectable
of
because she
course
looks
we think
like
it was
Ellie.
Ellie. I really don't
But at
think
least
She
it's
you
didn't
got the
look like
game
Ellie.
right.
She had a braided hair and she was muscular and jacked.
At least
Then
you
why
got the
would you
game
think
right.
it's Days Gone? What the fuck?
Because that's a new character,
but-
possibly, and people are hanging in the trees
please
just like at
Stop having
E3.
a go at him. At least Blue got the game right. Shut
Jesus,
up.
chill out, man. Fuck
Yeah,
this.
but she said it's Ellie.
we
Jesus.
assumed it was Ellie because knowing in
I
our
don't
minds that
understand
it was
how
The
it doesn't
Last of
look
Us.
like Days Gone.
It doesn't matter if she doesn't look like her. Like that's the thing is, it's like who else do we know in The Last of Us that we know is still alive? That's a female that's going to be like main character like she was in that trailer.
Tommy's
Thank
wife.
you. And the point is, it
Ellie?
doesn't matter because everyone
Yes.
said bullshit statements. It's a trailer. Fuck me. Everyone
Yeah.
at the start of every trailer, everyone's shouting names of what it could be. I remember in the Sucker
Mate,
Punch
you're
thing,
the one
everyone
that
was
first
going
saying I
on
didn't like
FromSoft
the
game,
game. I think
Sucker Punch's
Justin said
game.
that.
That's what you're
Yeah,
saying in
I
the
thought it
trailer.
was-
I said it was Sucker Punch early on. I just want to say.
I said it could have. I said it could have been Onimusha, and it clearly wasn't.
And then you said Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, no, I.
And then
I
Ninja
agree.
Gaiden,
Wait,
yeah,
are we,
it could've
are we
been
talking about
anything.
Sucker Punch's
Yeah.
game? Oh, well, I can't
Yeah,
say
yeah.
anything about Sucker Punch's game because I don't have my reaction out there. Thanks to my audio being fucked up.
Can
Oh,
you remember your
I thought you were
reaction?
gonna say thanks to me.
My reaction, I knew it was
You
Sucker
said
Punch
it- you
because
said at the
I
beginning.
knew it was Sucker Punch because Justice spoiled it for me.
I was gonna
By
say.
accident,
Justice
by
was
accident.
everything.
By
Before
accident.
E3, he's always talking before the release. Oh my god, it's that.
It's by
And then freaking
accident.
Snapchats me every single reveal of E3. I mean,
That's why he was looking
Yo,
down so
I
much,
sent it
wasn't
to
it?
But Last
everybody
of
on
Us
my
and, like, other
Snapchat
ones.
list. There's an accident.
Well,
After
including
I
the
said-
girl you
after-
like.
No, because here's the thing, right? I completely forgot because Brandon ended. We had a streak, right? And Brandon ended it, so I was like, oh,
Excuse
okay,
me?
whatever. And then I accidentally sent it to everyone. I was like, oh shit, I forgot Brandon's still there.
I was at lunchtime. I was like, oh, Justin sent me a snap.
And then
immediately see him
I tried
uploading his
messaging him.
reaction to
I tried
freaking Sucker
messaging
Punch's
him
new
on like
IP.
every
I'm
single
like, well,
thing. Like I was like, yo, don't
yeah,
look
but I
at your
deleted
snaps.
apps because I didn't want to even be tempted to get spoiled online.
Yeah.
So I like literally deleted everything but Snapchat because I was like, I'm not gonna find out through Snapchat. But
So,
sure enough,
what was
I
your
found out
favorite
through
show on
Snapchat
the-
somehow.
What was your favorite show of Paris Games Week?
Well, I'd say before I knew what was going on, I'd say probably Ghost of Tsushima. But after doing analysis and like actually knowing what the clues that Naughty Dog gave us in that trailer and like doing my own analysis, I'd say Last of Us was better. But I originally didn't really care about that trailer. It didn't get me more hyped, and it still didn't really get me that much more hyped. But the clues that they gave, I feel like I know a lot more with what they're doing in the game, like a little bit more with what their themes are.
I think my
visually.
favorite. I think my favorite thing was Concrete Genie. What's the Inertia?
Yeah,
Not Inertia. What's the other one?
Concrete Genie didn't
The
know.
black and white game that to do with
Stifle.
Stifle.
The
That
VR
one.
one, Stifle?
Probably Last of Us.
Stifle's out by now,
Because-
by the way.
Us. I think The Last
Yeah,
of Us
that's
just
us.
gets a pass because it's The Last of Us, not because I think that trailer was anything that was like, oh my. But then again, put with like again what Brandon was saying about the clues that
I'm
they have
surprised.
seemingly
You
left.
didn't when you heard the Last of Us gunshot sound. You didn't think about Last of Us.
Oh, let's not go back to this. Jesus Christ.
Can I just say
was just like-
Stifle? Like I don't have a
That was,
VR,
like,
was-
instant
but like
I was-
confirming.
that game.
Instant confirming for me.
The footage that I had also wasn't even the footage that was my stream, because the stream I was watching was like 720p, 480p, so I couldn't really even see the visual fidelity.
Stifle looks great, but it's
I-
been out for like 8 months on
So to me, that looked like Days Gone either way, because it looked crappy.
I never heard of Stifle until they showed the
Yeah,
footage.
it was wasn't
Yeah,
the
Stifle
announcement of
looks
the game.
good.
It was
Isn't
more like
it
the
out yet?
announcement of it coming to PlayStation VR. Yeah, but
Yeah,
Stifle looks
that's-
great.
I
I
was-
really want to get it.
I think I mentioned this on Twitter, but the two ones that stood out for me, like originally, were Blood and Truth and Stifle in terms of VR games, because those were like two announced games. Or like Stifle wasn't, but it's the first time I saw it. So those were like two games, and also I'm just craving VR games in general. So originally, those were like the two things. Because I was also mentioning this to I think Blue and Josh. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think Blue at least. And I was just saying how like looking back at PGW, really none of my thoughts on all the first party games really changed after that. Except for maybe Detroit, because Detroit's showing was a little bit better than their E3 showing for sure.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Well, my standout was Concrete Genie, but I'm a bit worried about that game from a gameplay perspective because it's the guys who made Entwine, the studio that made Entwine, and they haven't got a good track record with mechanics, and this looks like a mechanics-based game. So I'll be hoping that they like sort of fix that issue, like they just start to understand. I mean, it's a completely different type of game to a twin stick, but I'm concerned about that. But from a visual standpoint, from an artistic standpoint, the game looks really great. I like the concept. I like that it's just something different. The Last of Us trailer, I think, I was happy about it with the amount of information they give because I made a theory video on it and shit like that. But from a trailer, that was a shit trailer. Like that was such a shit
It's a
trailer. Not
cutscene.
only did it not make sense to show it from a marketing perspective because of the violence. I'm not asked it's a violent game. We know that, but that's not the type of shit you show in a trailer. I know it's ballsy, but you're trying to appeal to more of a niche audience and you're going to throw people off by showing that. So from a marketing perspective, same goes for Detroit. I had no idea why they showed that. Like, I'm not pissed off. I'm not asked, but I don't. From a marketing standpoint, I don't get at all why they showed that. And from a cinematography standpoint, in terms of the Last of Us trailer, I really don't think it was that good. I think it was very, very scripted. Like, in terms of like when Emily walks up to Yara and she goes, "Where is the other apostate?" and she fucking spits in her face. Like, come on, that was not what The Last of Us was like at all in any regard. I understand it's a different game, but
That's why
I hope the cinematography was fantastic. But I mean the choreography, not the cinematography. The choreography was really poor. Well, not poor, but not as good as the first game in that scene, at least. I think other standouts really was just VR. Some of the stuff in the pre-show, like Spelunky 2, Guacamelee 2. Were both highlights for me. The game that looks like Journey that's out now, horrendous name. Ure. What a bad name. I think out of everything,
Sure is memorable,
was really
apparently.
my standout. Ghost of Tsushima, it's a good concept, but we don't know what the game looks like. Like that's not the game.
It could just be Horizon.
He said that's what the game's gonna look like, and it's like
Horizon.
that's not gameplay. I'll judge that when I see gameplay, but I think the standout for me is Concrete Genie.
Yeah, I think Blood and Truth was like my real like surprise because I didn't know that London Studio would be there, or is that what they're called? Yeah, the people that made VR
Yeah, it
Worlds.
is. Yeah.
I think that's my biggest surprise because I knew Sucker Punch was going there because of Justin, obviously. But like biggest surprise, I'd say that.
London
Last of
Studio
Us, I was surprised. But the thing about Last of Us, I'm not gonna bring this back to discussion, but like whenever I thought we're gonna see Last of Us again, I keep going back to what Neil said, saying Last of Us is all about Joel and Ellie. So I didn't see them throwing like a trailer like full of new people.
Yeah.
That's where my mind was at. So I was like, but I mean, yeah, nothing really stood out to me really, besides some of the VR showings.
I'd say
and then
I'd
Ghost
say
of
the same
Tsushima
thing.
looks good.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing for me.
Ghost of
as well.
Tsushima was pretty cool, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't really have much to say in terms of like.
Well, that's the thing. I don't really want my opinions to be changed at this point. I just want to know when I can expect these games, like dates.
Yeah.
Like I'm already sold on these games. Like we've already seen these for ages.
Yeah.
And I feel like Sony's being a little bit too precautious. Like honestly, I'd rather hear about delays than just not know when to expect these games.
Yeah. It's just annoying because it's like you see this shit and it's like, oh, it's really exciting, but how long am I gonna have to fucking wait to play for it? Like, just give us something. Just
Well,
anything.
Sony goes on each extreme. They either delay
Oh,
all their
don't say
games
that,
or
yeah.
they just don't even give. Like they don't go in the middle. Like you can show off something, give us more.
Jumping up and down the spectrum, it's going from like we're
I
going to
know.
show too many dates and then we're not going to show any
That's
dates,
so
and it's like
extreme.
no,
I
hit the
know.
balance. It's like what's doing my head in about Sony and their approach to these, in particular these like Detroit, God of War, Days Gone, and Spider-Man, is that they're trying to go with the approach of if it's not ready, don't give a date, and that's fine. If they're not ready, don't show a date. But if they're not ready, don't show the fucking game. You don't have a gun to your head telling you to show another Spider-Man trailer. You don't have to. We didn't need to see it. We didn't need a 2-minute God of War trailer. Like, come on.
I think it was less
That
than
was
2 minutes.
stupid. That
was
was
like a
whack.
minute
Like,
and
that
a half.
ain't-
Like,
that was
what is the
nothing. It was a
point?
minute and a half.
Exactly.
They just
It was
showed
a
us
random
call-
encounter. It was almost a
They-
random encounter.
Yeah, they just
I
showed us
heard about
combat we've
Soul
already
Eaters.
seen.
That's about it.
So I think the biggest thing I took away from all of that was like Sony just they're annoying me in the way that they're just going up and down the spectrum. That show would have been fine if we didn't see God of War, if we didn't see Spider-Man, and if we didn't see Detroit. I wouldn't have had any different perspective on any of those games because the trailers weren't anything spectacular. The Spider-Man trailer, the facial animations looked absolutely terrible. God of War was the exact same as the E3 2016 gameplay demo, and Detroit was again interesting trailer from an emotional standpoint, going with the theme of domestic violence. I thought that was interesting, but again, what's the game about? Can someone please tell me? We're going to get about 7 trailers before the game's out, and I still won't have a clue what it's about, which is a bad sign for me.
Hey,
They
I still
keep
like
going
it.
on about things could have been different. Like that's their whole sales pitch. Like
I don't. That's
Could
the
have
way
been
I
different.
want to know about the story. I mean, all I know is that like the androids are gonna rebel. That's all we know, pretty much.
That's
at
it.
this point.
And what's annoying me is how many trailers they've shown. And it's like we know more about. I'm not being funny. We know a bit more of us than we do about Detroit off 2 trailers, and Detroit's coming out potentially in the next 6 months, which is distressing to me because again, it's a David Cage game. In my opinion, David Cage has a shit history with games, especially coming off his last game, Beyond Two Souls, which was a bad game. And then he's coming out with all these random trailers. I understand it's about androids like possibly having a revolution, but every trailer has been the exact same thing. It's this is my story. who's the main character? Is it Korra? Is it the black guy from E3? Is it like I just don't know what the
From
game
what I've been
is. And then they
told-
keep
what I've
doing
seen
that
in
thing
interviews,
multiple
it's meant
with
to be
the-
Kara.
they say it's all about this character and this is my story, and then they zoom out and they show like 50 different possibilities, and it's like,
I
okay,
don't.
but how
don't-
many of those are going to be good? That's what I want to know. I don't give a fuck how many there is. How many are going to be good? Would you be better going with 17 endings, or would you be better going with one that's good? That's my thing, and that's what Telltale do. And Telltale
I don't have a problem.
have a
with that.
better track record with games, not on a technical level, but in a quality standpoint than David Cage does. So I'm massively worried about Detroit. But in terms of the conference, and again, it was weird the way with Shadow of the Colossus, they put the date on Twitter and not in the conference,
know, that
but they
was
tweeted
whack.
it like right after the conference, and it's like, why did you just do that?
That was a
What was
real.
the-
They were watching
Can't
the
you just
live
add
stream and then
something
they
like a
realized they
title
forgot
as-
to put the date on. So they're like, oh shit, wait.
But
I
like,
think it was like they felt like they couldn't give that a date and not give the others a date. But then go back to my point, you don't have to show those games. You don't have a gun to your head. No one's forcing you to. No one's going to have an uproar if God of War doesn't get another gameplay demo. It's like no one's, but just delay them, give them date to PSX, and that's it. That's all they have to do.
Yeah. Do you guys
Think
think we're
about,
gonna see Days Gone at PSX, or do you think we're not gonna hear that until next year?
If we do, we got a window because that game sounds like it's far out because it doesn't even have a window yet.
I know. We saw every single game there besides Death Stranding and Days Gone, right? And then I guess if you count Dreams.
well, Death
it's
Stranding's just
not
like Jeff
really
Keighley, so that's
Well, I
that's
guess
just like
so.
he has probably paid Sony money to have it. It's,
Do you think they skipped out because they want to show it at PSX, or do you think it's in trouble?
wait,
Still.
when's PSX again?
December.
December
It's the
8th
day
to
after your
10th.
birthday,
Is it the 9th? Or,
It's 8 to 10.
okay, so it's just like
It's
it's
the
shortly
8th,
after
it's the 8th.
VGAs basically.
I think.
Yeah.
It's the
So
9th,
do you
I
think they'll show?
I know. I don't know.
Because like last year, I'm pretty sure they showed 2 Death Stranding trailers. Or no, when they did the reveal, they did. They had the reveal of the trailer, and then they redid it at one of the other one, either PSX or VGAs,
Wasn't
and
it
they just
with
put a different song over it.
music?
Yeah.
Wasn't it just with different music?
So I'm wondering if maybe they'll do. You know, how Metal Gear Solid 5 had like the same gameplay demo repeated. I think at E3, then Gamescom, and they just basically did like the same demo, but they showed something different within it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like. a
Do you think
different
they'll
way
do the
to
same, but for Death Stranding, maybe?
Possibly.
Maybe.
If the game allows for that kind of thing, because we still don't really know what the game it is. It's like an open world online game, from what I know, and that's about it. I'm not sure about the online bit, but I'm pretty sure it's open world, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got online
It's open
features.
world
They've
and
said.
it's innovating and apparently by Hideo Kojima.
So
I wouldn't see. Sony shot themselves in the foot by announcing that. They announced that, and Days Gone well too early.
And Last of Us, but I guess that was Naughty Dog's decision.
Well, I mean, Last of Us is only like
in 2 years.
2 years, and as long as they don't show too much, it's fine. But with those
Well, I
two
mean, it was like-
particular, Death Stranding, I mean, they announced it in. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was 2016.
Death Stranding was
sure it's
2015.
No, it wasn't, because Metal Gear Solid came out in 2015, so it would be 2016.
Yeah, so-
no, no. What I'm thinking about is the whole entire Andrew House thing, where they announced
Oh,
that
alright.
they're making an exclusive game for PS4. That's what I was thinking.
So like the game, they're going to announce it like 3, possibly 4 years before it's out. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's in trouble. I don't think Days Gone's in trouble either. I don't think the game will be amazing, but if Sony Bends aren't ready, I'm happy they're not showing it. Like they don't have to show it. I would like if we got a window at least, so we've got some sort of idea of when it's ready. But for the time being, I'm fine with not getting a date. I'd be fine if that didn't show up again till E3, and then they just came out and they were like, right,
Days Gone.
here's a date for fall. Yeah, just came out. Here's a date for fall. And then just give everything else date to PSX, like Spider-Man and all that.
That's one thing I was wondering. Are they going to show that in Last of Us, both at PSX? Like that.
Apparently,
They've never been on the same convention.
Death Stranding only went into full development this year,
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
so
Yeah,
That's
'cause-
crazy.
Yeah, because
I'm not
because
really
in
hyped for
2016 they
Death
didn't even have an
Stranding
engine for the
I
game,
know it's
did they?
far
Until
away
like
anyway,
late
so, like-
2016, so there was no way they could have started development last year.
So what were they doing for a full year? Just
I guess it
touring
was just
around,
promotional
seeing
stuff.
things?
Because, like I said, once they announced that deal with Kojima, they probably just thought to themselves, "All right, let's just get this advertised as soon as possible," even though like there's no engine for the game whatsoever. And it's like I think they just did it for a marketing standpoint of just being like,
That's
"Look
crazy. You
who
don't
changes
announce a
with
game
us."
before you even found your engine. Like,
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, that didn't make sense to
but
me.
that's Kojima.
No.
Like Kojima could just walk on stage, say, "I've got a new brand of shoes coming out," and everyone goes, "Oh my
It doesn't
god!"
matter who it is. It's just.
Everyone
I
loses.
mean,
their
I know
mind.
why they.
He
did
could
it,
just
but
appear on the
it's
stage for 5 seconds and walk off, and there'd be news about it. Like it's no one gives no one like the majority of people don't care because it's Kojima.
I know, but I'm just saying it's stupid when it's 4 years away.
Well, the thing is, like, when's it going to come out? Because like, if it comes out near PS5, I feel like that's any game. I think that's a big game that comes out near PS5 is an issue.
The
Because
Last of Us did, but it was fine.
huh?
Last of Us did, and it was fine.
Yeah, but they released a remastered version within the year. Couldn't they? They could have used that extra tech from the PS4 and made it look even better, or just made it better overall in some way. So like,
Well, they were working on it for like years before the PS4 came out.
but that's my
So they're
point.
working on
That's
PS3
it's
tech.
it's a shame that like some games like that fall in that sort of window of the new platform or new console or whatever, and then I don't know.
Just how it is.
Plus, they probably have lower sales because of that.
Oh, I think it's high. I mean, by that point, if you're at the end of a console life cycle, they have a lot of units sold for the console, so it's gonna do fine, in my opinion. Unless it's like fall, but Sony doesn't even release exclusives in the fall. So the last exclusive you'll see on your PS3 will probably make PS4 will probably be like the August before that fall.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. What's more questions that we got?
Non-related to Paris Games Week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's.
Shall we move on to the next topic?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So PlayStation announced their new system where you can now make money back
The
for
bullshit.
the trophies that you earn. And there's like some benefits and downsides to both. Basically, that I think right now it's only available in the. Is it only U.S. or North America?
NA, I think.
I feel like it'd be North America. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so basically you have to sign up for the system, and then depending on the number, like there you get trophies, and then those trophies can be counted towards money. And it may sound good, but like honestly, the amount of trophies, it's actually really crazy. Like the amount of trophies you need to actually get something back that you can use to buy a game.
Isn't it like a dollar a platinum?
Yeah.
No, it's 10 platinums for
$10.
$1.
Oh, 10.
No, it's
oh.
not 10
Sure.
$1.
I thought it was 10 platinums for $10.
No, that's 10
Yeah.
gold and then.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
10.
Yeah, I
10
think it's
platinums for
25
$10.
gold.
You get a plat per dollar.
25
Oh, you get
gold for a
per
dollar,
plat.
and then it's
Oh.
about 100
Oh,
silver
okay,
for
that's better then.
100 silver
Wow.
and then it's like 1,000 bronze.
Mm.
Okay, but still.
Yeah, it's a
like
stupid
It's
conversion.
100 silvers for. Was it $10 or $1?
Yeah.
$1.
I honestly don't have a clue because the conversion rate is such bullshit anyway.
and it only
I mean,
works.
come on,
if-
you're not gonna be buying. You gotta get 60 platinums
Yeah.
for one game. Like at that point, just get a job and like work 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's
I
stupid.
mean, it's better than nothing. But
Yeah, it's better than nothing, but at a certain point, it's like not
Yeah.
really gonna do nothing.
people want to play games to make money back and buy more games. It's like,
That's-
no, that's
yeah,
not gonna,
have
that's
fun
not gonna
doing that
happen.
and
That's
grinding
not
all
gonna happen.
Just pull out all your Telltale games, you know?
Yeah, I saw someone
Hey, my
said
name
that.
is Mayo. It's $1, right? So you make your money back with that platinum you get from it.
Well, you gotta get another 9 after that as well. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, assuming you get your money back.
Yeah, you
Wait,
get
so you
your
can only get
$1
paid
back.
$10 at a time.
And you get there's like a lot of gold trophies in there, so
Great.
Thing is, though, it's better than nothing. And if you play a lot of games and you win a lot of trophies, then it's fine. I think it's stupid the way I think it's obvious the way they didn't give out money for like already achieved trophies, because then
Yeah,
you'd have to
that's
be
the
handing out like
biggest
thousands of dollars in one go. So from a business standpoint, it makes sense. I think it's just a bit stingy because like I know it doesn't apply to Europe, but I'm sat at like 40 platinums and 200 and something gold, so I'll be at least able to win like an indie game or something if that applied to like my country. But I don't know, it's better than nothing. I look at it that way. It's a shit system, but it's
Yeah.
better than nothing at the end of the day.
There's definitely improvements to it, but I mean, for a starter standpoint, maybe it's a good starter place. But yeah,
If you're a
it's
trophy hunter, like this is
Yeah.
the dream.
yeah,
Like if you're in like a lot of platinums, then
Well,
you'll
well,
be
I've always
with us.
thought that like for getting a platinum, you should get some kind of reward more than just a theme or like an avatar or
I
something
think
to
they
show.
email you. Yeah, they email you. those
Some
things.
do. I think Horizon. I think
Horizon,
Killzone
I think,
Shadowfall.
Last of
Uncharted,
Us,
Uncharted
I
4.
think.
But they did it. It's like which is cool for like the games that do. But then they're like, I don't know. I mean, like unless you enjoy a game and want to get the platinum, other
But
than
what would you think they should do?
a theme or an avatar. That's what I said. That's Horizon did that. I'm pretty sure.
I thought you said besides the theme and avatar. My bad.
No. I think that'd be fine.
I love that. Something to show off that you've earned the platinum. You
Yeah,
know.
that's what I mean.
To yourself. I mean, I guess yeah.
Even though I didn't get the email from Sony, but all right, Sony.
Yeah, I
dicks.
don't get those
Which
emails
one?
either.
For which game?
Horizon. I got the platinum and never got the email.
There might.
Really
I'm sure
games
there's one
hate
on
you.
the store. I'm not sure. Not well, I don't know. Actually. Whatever. So yeah, cool system. Probably not going to work for money.
Jesus, my fan.
Which one?
Nah, I feel like I don't know. Background noise. This podcast has been terrible for me.
We can't hear it.
I haven't heard much.
Unless-
Yeah, and that's surprising.
Next topic.
EA
Brandon's
buys
fault.
Respawn.
Just saying.
EA buys Respawn.
Oh, God's sake.
Oh, that's right.
All right, go on, Dan. Go on.
Oh, I'm so annoyed by this because I love Titanfall 2. It was probably one of my favorite games of last year. So the fact that they brought them pisses me off because I'm not going to be able to play Titanfall 3. It's like, oh, I couldn't play Titanfall 1. Oh, you get Titanfall 2. Oh, no, fuck off, you're not having Titanfall 3, which just annoys me. And just the whole way they've gone about it, it just seems even more like a middle finger to Visceral Games. Like, they just get rid of them and they siphon in another studio to take their place. Because I guarantee you that this game that Respawn is making for Star Wars, regardless of what it is basically pretty much just going to be what Visceral Games was working on, which I don't have a problem with, because I like Respawn, but it's still, to me, disrespectful towards what Visceral Games and Amy Hennig were working on. And I don't know, it's just like, I get what EA trying to do. Well, not even EA, fucking Microsoft, but it's just, I don't know. It's just pissing me off with what's happening, and it's just, yeah. There was that statement, wasn't there, someone put on Twitter, what was it, where it's like, we were all saying, telling EA to fuck off when EA were like telling Visual Games to fuck off, wasn't it? Something along those lines.
I said that.
Yeah, you said that. That's basically how I feel about the whole thing. It's pathetic for me, and yeah, it annoys me as a PS4 gamer, but it annoys me in terms of Visual Games, because like they said, I didn't even realize or even remember that Respawn were working on a Star Wars game until they actually said it then on, like, what was it? It wasn't on a thing that like disclosed what game they were working on, because they were working on that and Titanfall 3. So yeah, I'm
actually surprised they're
just
working on
overall
Titanfall
bit
3.
annoyed.
I thought they were only working on their Star Wars game.
No, they were working
Is
on
that like one of
Titanfall
the
3
only
as well.
EA games we know that it's not going to be a Star Wars game is Titanfall 3?
Yeah, that's when you know how
It was
dedicated
my most
EA is.
anticipated EA game.
Can't wait to see microtransactions in it.
People say that, but I still think there's hope for that game because EA pitched in with what's called Titanfall 2. And even EA and Respawn were advertising Titanfall 2 as in, you know, remember when you got a game, I think Jim Sterling put this tweet in his video, where it's like, remember when you bought a game and you actually got your full
Yeah.
game with it? By Titanfall 2. I still think that Titanfall 3 will still not have DLC, possibly.
Maybe.
It depends if EA
Titanfall
will make
1
that, but...
was-
Depends on how
It's
generous
good.
EA are feeling.
I mean, I just think that Titanfall 2 found their footing, and to not do that again would be a big mistake.
Yeah.
And I don't see how Respawn would let them do that.
Mm.
I mean, the
But
thing that
again,
killed
it doesn't matter.
the thing that killed off Titanfall 2 is when it came out by EA standards,
Yeah.
so they killed that game.
You say that.
Respawn made a really good game. It has a 90 on Metacritic. That game's phenomenal. The campaign is great. The DLC is free. I mean, that's a game, that's a AAA game worth supporting.
Well, you'd have to make the assumption. I mean, it's a bit of a brash assumption, but you'd have to make the assumption that it was kind of planned because, given the nature of EA, when one of their games doesn't sell up to standards, like that's bye bye to that studio, or they get a second chance. And I think this has really been EA giving Respawn a second chance. But I read an article about this about how apparently Respawn's Star Wars game already looked
was better
better
than
than
Visceral.
Visceral Star Wars game after
Yeah.
much less development time. So that's part of the reason why Visceral was closed. But the thing is,
There's the two.
I understand it from a business standpoint, but because they're trying to, feed miles and that, they've got like a studio of hundreds of people to pay and stuff like that. But
Well, this is EA we're talking about.
but the thing is, they took the most extremist measure of shutting down the studio when they could have just cancelled the IP. That would have made so much more sense than shutting down the fucking studio. And now it's come to the point where it's like every studio is now working with EA. It's like you've got to have your eyes on them. Like, my eyes are on BioWare now, and if Anthem's fucked, that studio's fucked, because they haven't been at their best since Mass Effect
2.
2. 3 was still great. I think that was the last genuinely great game. Inquisition was just no. They had the BioWare B team, which all got laid off because Andromeda was a mess. And now they're working on Anthem, and Anthem had one of the directors die of cancer earlier this year, and the lead animator's just left. So that game is looking in dire straits right now. It even already looked a bit rough in that initial trailer in terms of the gameplay. So if that game not so much flops commercially but critically, then or doesn't meet sales expectations, then BioWare's fucked, and that's the next studio to look out for, because Anthem's I think it's aimed for spring or first half of the year of 2018. So I'm worried for Respawn now, because they're actually a genuinely like great developer. As much as I didn't like Titanfall 1, I've just bought Titanfall 2. I've only played a few hours of it. It's really good. I've said this before. Amazing campaign. Gameplay's a bit defensive, but level design's great. But I'm worried for Respawn now, and I would be worried if I was working at Respawn, because I know EA published Titanfall 2, but it wasn't so much a partnership deal as it is now. But yeah, I'd be shitting it if I was working at Respawn now, because if
They
that
also
game
said that
flops,
they're gonna get a bonus if their games get a good Metacritic score.
Well, we don't know. I think it's more about sales expectations, really, because Dead Space was critically acclaimed, and Mass Effect was critically acclaimed, and BioWare is still.
No, I'm saying what they said what they put in the what's called the signing that they did with the partnership.
What do you mean?
They said that they said that if Respawn's games, like if all those games that they showed off, the VR project, the Star Wars project, and Titanfall 3, that I said if it gets a good Metacritic scoring, they will give them a bonus.
Bonus
on top of that already announcement. So they've already written that down. So I'm saying like,
yeah,
Titanfall 3 better not have MTs, or else that might hurt the rating. I mean, I'm not sure if that would hurt the rating of a game, but
but what's the rating goal?
Have
Have they said the rating goal, or have they just said good ratings?
They just said good Metacritic scores. It's pretty vague, but I'm not sure if. I don't know.
Right, because we don't know what their expectations are, because their expectations for Dead Space were like 5 million, and Dead Space was like, I think the first or the second one was 4.5 million, so it barely missed out, and Visceral in the end still got closed down. So it's like,
I mean, Respawn's super talented, so I think they'll still be able to do well as long as they.
I hope as long as it's marketed better. Good God, Titanfall 2 was not only mashed into the wrong time of year, but marketed horrendously. But
yeah. That's like the most underrated game of 2016.
Yeah, by a long
shot. In terms of marketing that I didn't hear about, that was a great game. But like never heard about it. It was too much.
Because the market was terrible.
Versus COD. So yeah, EA's fault killed that game, but at least they're giving them a second chance. At least, I didn't realize that Respawn was independent before this. I thought they were with EA or Microsoft.
They were always independent.
But they just did. Yeah, they were always independent. They were just working on it. And these are the guys that were like after Activision, like this was post Activision.
Yeah,
because they didn't like how Activision treated them, so they're signing with EA, which is just like, isn't that like the whole thing that you tried to get away from in the beginning? Is Activision?
Lol.
Just seems kind of stupid.
Well, it's going from forced DLC to microtransactions. It's like take your pick. It's jumping from a burning plane to like a sinking ship. It's like there's your two options, and it's like pick one, and they went with the sinking ship. So it's kind of like. I don't know. I'm worried for them. I'm really worried because EA just ruined studios. They've just ruined them.
And conferences. All right, we're not gonna get back there. So yeah,
I just think it's a shame because like the game that Visceral were going to develop was a third-person shooter, going from pretty sure, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it would have been cool to have seen.
It was gonna be like Uncharted and Star Wars.
Yeah, like they originally, I'm not sure if it's Visceral, but there was somewhere they were working on Star Wars 1313, which got cancelled. But from what I saw screenshot-wise of that, it looked really cool. And like I was thinking, like it would be nice to have some sort of diversity. Like it's still a shooter, but you'd have a third-person shooter for Star Wars. You'd have a first-person shooter with Battlefront 2, and then whatever else anyone else is working on with EA and Star Wars. But like now we're gonna have. Like Star Wars, like we have two shooters now. We're gonna have two FPSs, one from Respawn, one from DICE.
It'd be a mistake making Respawn do a third person though. They're talented in first person.
Exactly. They've got to stick.
Those are the guys that build Call of Duty.
But my point is, it's like they cancelled one, or they whatever with Visceral. They basically kicked off them, which would have given some diversity to the kind of, and then we would have still had Respawn Star Wars shooter at the end of this.
Battlefront is still third person.
Yeah, but no, the game is shown as a first-person shooter. It's primarily
Not really. The
viewpoint.
campaigns, from what I've seen of the campaign and everything, it's all third person.
Is
from
it?
What I've seen, mainly. I mean, I think you could swap, but what
You,
I've seen
you,
from
you can swap,
press
but
and
like
everything is all third person in trailers.
fair enough. But I mean, like the multiplayer of the game, when you load up the game, you're put into first person. That's a sign that the game is, it's still first person. They've shown. I played it in first person. You can still play in third person.
It's like
I
a
guess.
Bethesda game, first person but third person.
But my point is, let's look at DICE campaigns. And compare them to Respawn's, and I mean, I know they only did Titanfall 2, I guess, but still, I would have much rather a campaign from Respawn. Sorry, Visceral Respawn, or DICE even.
What do you mean?
As in, like,
What you're saying? I've just heard.
so like we would have got a third-person shooter from Visceral,
Right.
and I would have preferred to have got that than I would have a Respawn first-person shooter because again, diversity, but also like we're now gonna have, like I said, 2 FPSs, like for Star Wars.
Well, I understand that about the
Unless
case of diversity. I'd like that too, but at the end of the day, I want a good game. And from the sounds of it, the
Well, yeah,
Visceral game didn't sound like it was going to be a good game. It sounded like it was losing direction. I mean, someone's even said already about that. The Respawn
just
Star
sounded
Wars
like it's
game
too
already
ambitious.
has like a bet looked like it was going in a better direction after like 1 year of development than Visceral did after like 4. So I think that's a testament to how like lacking direction it was. It sounds like something that'd be like a cool concept though, Uncharted in Star Wars, but it's lost its direction. And if that means that we have to get a first-person shooter instead, I'd rather have a great first-person shooter than a shit third-person game just for the sake of
Yeah, that's
diversity.
fair,
So I mean, I'm not asked about the genre as long as it's not open
But yeah,
world.
I'm still going to look forward to it. And I mean, I trust. Again, it's the problem is they've kicked off one dev, they've bought another one, and
Yeah.
if that doesn't do well, they're also going to be down. So it's like they've sacrificed one dev, and that game. Well, I mean, I don't want to say they've sacrificed the game. The game could turn out to be better, but like my point, it's like, I guess we're still going to get a third-person Star Wars game because I mean that's what they're working on.
Yeah.
It's whoever the
Vancouver, the
FIFA.
people that made FIFA.
yeah, exactly. We're still
EA Vancouver.
Please don't remind me
we're
of
gonna
that
have football in
disaster.
space,
Football.
which
in
sounds like an
space.
interesting concept actually. But
Something like
EA Vancouver can't. The thing is, though, EA Vancouver can't be fucked because they develop FIFA, and FIFA is like their jewel. So them and DICE are pretty much safe and sound, and I think DICE are working on another Battlefield game that's set to come out in end of 2018, I believe, which is part of the reason why Visceral's game got pushed. It was winning because it got pushed to 2019 because the Battlefield game in 2018. So DICE and EA Vancouver are safe and sound, but BioWare and Respawn are the ones to look out for, especially BioWare in the coming months. But in terms of Respawn, I'm not asked if I don't think they should have shut the studio down. I think they should have just shut the IP down and let them work on something else. Because in Visceral's defense, like they're used to working on linear games. They're not used to working on something like a grand scale. Like Dead Space was linear. Some of their old projects were linear. And they're moving on to a massive, massive IP, which is a big undertaking from a studio that generally just made action horror games. I mean, you're going from action horror to Star Wars. That's a big fucking jump. And maybe the studio wasn't talented enough. So if you can, I think EA recognized that, and that's part
I think
of
it
the
was
reason
just
why.
too ambitious and
It
everything.
was too ambitious for the studio, but what they should have done is just
Yeah.
close the IP and let them work on something else, not just close the fucking studio down. I understand from a financial standpoint, because when you've got all these other developers like Vancouver and DICE and BioWare pulling in money, it makes sense to shut Visceral down if their game's lacking direction. And you've got all these other developers that are making games that are selling or are just good. Like they give Respawn a second chance. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But I'm worried for them because regardless if the game's good or not, if it doesn't meet whatever the fucking astronomical expectations of EA are, like Respawn is still in trouble. Like look, Visceral's game sold respectable numbers and they got shut down. So it's like it's shit.
that's the thing.
Do we know
just
what's
gotta-
coming first, the Star Wars project or Titanfall 3?
I would have thought Star Wars project.
Have they said it?
Star Wars project
I
probably.
think so. That's what because I remember hearing about that for like the longest time.
hmm
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is basically, I just feel like, I mean, like obviously it's gonna be good for them, for Respawn, beneficially, for money and everything being bought by them. But like, is it a good decision in the end? Because like, considering what's just happened with Visceral, like
Well, they've been I think what they were working on like a partnership before Visceral got shut down. That's what I remember, wasn't it?
Yeah, no.
Or no,
Or-
you
No,
read
no,
that
that
as
is,
well. Yeah, they were signing before Visceral got
it
shut
is basically just a game of hoping that they don't fuck it up, because and by fuck it up, like as you said, the astronomical.
I mean, it's just I just
expectations.
hope that EA just lays off their ass and just lets them work on their vision, kind of like similar to what Sony does with Naughty Dog. They kind of respect them in that way.
Mhm.
So I just hope that they let them do that, not force them to make MTs, not force them to do all this BS to the game. Just give them the resources, give them the money to staff up what they need to do, and just make good games, and just hopefully keep doing that. But obviously, EA's past track record not looking good.
They are like the studio killer.
They pretty much are.
EA, the studio killer.
Like my nightmare is now Capcom have gone up for sale. If EA get anywhere near them, I will start crying. Like, leave Capcom alone, please. They would, oh my god, they would abuse Monster Hunter. They would abuse it.
Wait, why have they gone up for sale?
That's a
Yeah,
dark
because they
world,
make shit
so-
financial decisions. Because their games don't sell to expectations. Because Monster Hunter was like their last. Monster Hunter and Resi 7 were their last games that need to sell a 4 million margin to keep the studio afloat. That's why this push in Monster Hunter so much, because it's meant to hit a 4 million sales target, which it will, because it's multi-plat and it's on PC, and it looks amazing. So
And it has a big following.
I don't know.
Alright. Is Justin and Dan here? They're kind of dead.
No, I'm not dead. I'm just listening to you guys speak about it.
Just upset internally.
Yep.
It's very
Oh,
depressing.
Yeah, I mean, me and Dan.
Justin just woke
Josh,
up.
did you get-
I'm,
Did
I'm
you
just,
have-
I'm just, yeah, I'm just depressed internally that I'm probably not gonna be able to play Titanfall 3.
I mean, don't say that yet. I mean, have some hope.
I have some
Yeah.
hope, but yeah.
I mean, it depends what they're doing for.
I mean, it's all in
Dolls
EA's hands if they're gonna fuck it up. I mean, we all know Respawn make good games.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not.
Except that first
Remember
one,
Titanfall.
another campaign.
Yeah, but Visceral made good games for a
Yeah.
decade and they got shit down. So kind of like
Yeah, if it's all one mistake and then you screw up. Luckily, EA has given them a second chance after their own mistake with Titanfall 2.
we call it a second chance. This is like a last chance if you think about it. This is not a second. This is like a last chance.
And plus, they kind of screwed them over with Titanfall 2, so I wouldn't say it's like them. I wouldn't say it's
So
Respawn's
Titanfall,
mistake.
they were in the hands of Microsoft, right? But didn't EA like? I'm
They went
confused,
multiplayer
like-
after the first Titanfall.
Yeah, they went multiplayer. So did they team up with EA after Titanfall 1?
No, I think they worked with EA on Titanfall 1, but it just
Was
so
it with
happened that
EA and Microsoft?
Microsoft paid,
But, yeah.
obviously, to have it exclusive.
Yeah, so okay.
So they were working with Microsoft, hence why it looks like a Microsoft.
Microsoft funded the project, EA published it, and then when Respawn moved away from Microsoft, they didn't really have anyone funding the project, but they were fine financially. So they just got EA to publish it again, and now they've been working on a partnership deal for whatever the fuck they're working on now.
Well, we know what they're working on now. Yeah. I'm interested, but mainly just into Titanfall 3. Because Titanfall 2 is really good.
Just
I'm looking
done.
forward to seeing what their Star Wars is. Just,
Come on, Justin, don't fall
Okay.
asleep.
so our next question
Nah.
comes from Todd Howard, Awesome Myrick 808 on Twitter. Gotta love that name. And he says, "What is your favorite open world game and why?" So I think I'll let Blue start. Favorite open world game.
Define open world. I mean,
Open world.
I'll let you define that.
it would talk.
I'm
I
just
mean,
asking the question. so-
technically, Super Metroid counts as open world, but at the end, but then it's a fine line. If we're talking modern open world, like in the last few years, it's Witcher 3. Although note that I haven't played Bloodborne much yet. I only played like the first hour.
Yeah, I was looking at my PS4 and I see Bloodborne. That's a killer open world, technically.
It is. Well, it's open world. It is open world.
Yeah, I'd say it's open world.
So that'll probably end up being it because I love FromSoft games. But for now, Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is, I think, a game that the more I think about, I'm more torn upon. More like I always used to call it like a masterpiece. Now I don't even think it's a 10 with some of the mechanical and systematic issues,
Thank God.
which is
Thank
interesting
goodness for
because
that.
I used to adore that game. But it's one of those, the more I think about it, the more you bring up its flaws. The final part of the game was a bit rushed mechanically, even though the animation quality was fantastic. There was a lot of problems in terms of like the skill trees. There was only really one that was useful. There was a lot of useless shit you picked up in terms of items. It was kind of reminded me of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Your inventory is just loaded with shite that you never need, and there was a massive issue with progression in terms of with the amount of chests located around the world. it was so easy. You had such easy access to finances, so you could just buy the highest level gear, and then you sort it then. And then the one thing that annoys me the most about Witcher, the more I think about, is the mini map. That really frustrates me because the world's been. If you turn the HUD off when you're playing The Witcher 3 and try and do a side quest, it's like literally impossible because you don't know what you're doing. It's the reason I love Breath of the Wild's open world so much, is because it's direct with what it wants you to do. Like you go to the end of a river, you see a mountain, you climb the mountain like 50 paces, you walk around, there'll be a path, and then you'll find your treasure. And that's the way it is. In The Witcher, you try and do a side quest with the HUD turned off, and you physically can't. You'll get lost. It's something that I think Bethesda handled really well. They were really good at that type of stuff, about open world navigation, just you on your own. But The Witcher's been designed, the world's been designed with the minimap in mind. I mean, to the point where traversal is automated. You just hold X and Roach moves for you, which is ridiculous. Not to mention some of the technical issues and stuff like that. But I think overall, it's a phenomenal game in terms of storytelling, in terms of side quests. I don't really think you see many games with side quests as in-depth and enjoyable as that game. Like the Bloody Baron quest, they're actually memorable. I think the writing's phenomenal. And there is some fun in the gameplay, as I said, and the animation quality and stuff like that. I think the world's actually alive, which is funny because I think there's a lot of shit open worlds generally from the Ubisoft's past. And then visually and aesthetically, I think the game looks great. Great art direction. I think the music's fantastic. Yeah, I think it's just a really incredible game, despite some of its flaws.
All right, Josh, your favorite open world game and why?
Thing is, I feel like I was actually gonna think. I was thinking like the first one that came to my mind was Horizon, but then at the same time, as soon as you mentioned, no, but then let me finish. Jesus Christ, that's because it's recent.
Yeah.
But then, like you mentioned, Witcher, and I was like, "Yep, there you go. That's my answer." Because I mean, you listed a lot of flaws there, which some of them I didn't really think about. The thing of like picking up like items, yeah. Like 100% agree with that, because there is so much shit that you pick up that's like, yeah.
That's a problem I had with Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is a PS1 platform. It's the reason that it's a Metroidvania. It's why I think definitively, if you look at it, if you compare that to the game like Super Metroid, where every item you pick up has a massive purpose with regards to boss fights, with regards to enemy encounters, with regards to exploration, everything serves a purpose on that game. Whereas in Castlevania, you're just picking up like wood and just random shit that you're never going to use. It's always in Bethesda games too, where you're just picking up hundreds of random items that you're never going to use, you're never going to need, but you hold on. Do you ever do that where you hold on to them because you think you might use them?
Yeah.
I always do that in RPGs.
Yep.
And that's a massive issue in The Witcher. But I think the biggest issue is the world design. I think the world's living and breathing, and I think it looks cool, but it's been designed around the minimap, which is a big issue.
Because I think, like you mentioned about Bethesda games do that, and like I think Fallout has a relatively decent sort of like reason to pick stuff up, because you can craft things and you can just like dismantle them. Which, while there is still a lot of endless like crappy pickup, it feels like there is a use to it more so than just like I'm going to hold this because it's not useful sort of thing. But it could be. I think another thing about The Witcher is I think it's just like a symptom of RPGs, but like the movement feels very clunky. But that's like, other than that, I think
although it's important to note that was only the CD Projekt's third ever game that they worked on, which I think is tremendous. If you go back and play Witcher 1 and 2, the improvement is like...
Oh, I've seen Witcher 1 like gameplay.
I've played both.
They've only made Witcher.
They've only ever made Witcher 1, 2, and 3. They used to do language translations for games like Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, which ended up getting cancelled. They used to do translations for games on PC, but it was only local to Poland. And then they moved on to a startup project which was supposed to be like Diablo, like a top-down RPG, and then that ended up getting scrapped because none of the publishers they went to were interested. So they moved on to Witcher, and they've only proper published games by themselves is Witcher 1, 2, and 3, and Gwent, and now Cyberpunk. So it's incredible they made a game that good on their third attempt. Like, that is insane. But it does have issues that I hope get ironed out in. So.
Something else that, I mean, like, from a overall game standpoint, like I think which I'd say Witcher. But if we're talking about like just for instance the world, I think Skyrim might beat it because there's something about Skyrim's world that other than like everything else about Skyrim I'm not too sure about, but like
I hate everything else about Skyrim other than
yeah,
its world.
like the world to me just like there's so many memorable locations to me. I mean, I think Whiterun and Riverwood are like two of my most favorite like locations in any game, and there's something about like Riverwood. It's an extremely small like village, but it feels alive. There feels like there's something going on there, you know, like, and same with Whiterun. It feels like it's not perfect, but like I just remember it's like a pretty cool place in the game. But that's an overall game. I'd say Witcher 3 as well. I think.
Nice.
Mm.
All right, Justin, your favorite open world game?
Where you want-
Need for Speed Paper.
If you say Assassin's Creed, I'll leave.
Yeah, I'll be. I was
I mean, what
considering.
games has he played that's open world? That's what I'm saying.
I don't even know. Bruh. Let me see. I'm trying to find a game.
Do you want me to say mine while he finds it?
Yeah.
I swear I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't
please.
played. I don't think I've played
I'll
an
say-
open world
I'll-
game where I
I'll-
was like, yeah, that was a great open game.
If you want to, Justin, I'll go ahead while you try and find yours.
I already
Yeah,
know it.
No answer.
I said.
No
I already
answer.
know what Dan's will be.
Wow, what
Batman
do you,
Arkham City.
what do you think it is?
Far Cry 3.
No, actually.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that. Or...
Oh.
No,
What did
it
you
isn't.
say?
Um,
I was gonna say either one of the Arkham.
Yeah, I
games
was,
or
yeah,
Far Cry 3.
the Batman.
no.
Oh.
Because the thing is that I struggle between these two games because I say favorite, and I always have to go back to how much I enjoyed playing these open world games. So the first one I thought of was because like just the fact of how much I enjoyed it, Hit and Run. But then when I thought about it more, the one that stood out to me obviously.
Yes.
The one that stood out to me, which I'm surprised none of you guys actually mentioned, is Red Dead Redemption. I really like that game, and I think it's just not just because the open world. I just loved that it was something so different
Yeah.
from like what Rockstar usually do. But I don't know. I just loved the game. I loved the story. It was so unlike anything I had played from them because I hadn't played Bully. I hadn't played any of their other games before GTA. I believe 4. At that point, because I'd only played that game for a bit, I hadn't played San Andreas yet. Because I got this game literally, I think, like 3 months after I first bought my PS3, and I just loved it. I just loved it completely, and it's the only open world game where, in a strange sense of the way, it actually kind of prioritized its story over the actual open world, which feels a bit weird. I don't know if any games like I've played since have really done that.
Yeah.
But I feel like because of that, that's what made it stood out to me, and that's why I think it's probably my favorite. Not necessarily because of the open world. I think the games out there that do the open world far better, like you say with The Witcher. But I just think from a personal favorite open world game,
Yeah.
I would say that, but just for quite unconventional reasons, if I have to say.
Yeah, Red Dead's fantastic. I think the only reason the same thing I don't like about it, like I think the gameplay's really it's all. I think my favorite Rockstar game would always be GTA Vice City, simply because it didn't really suffer from the technical issues that Red Dead did. Because Red Dead, if you remember, the frame rate is piss.
Yeah.
Like it is absolute piss, and it's very glitchy, and the gameplay's really clunky. It had really poor cover mechanics, but as you say, I think the prioritizing story was a great move because the story is just unbelievably good. The writing's good. I think the animation could have been better, but I agree with that pick. Red Dead's fucking what a phenomenal game that is.
Mm-hmm. Justin, if you finally picked yours.
Nope.
Have you googled open world
my
games?
God.
Type in top 10 open world games
Yeah,
to
I
look
was
at.
about to say that.
Nope. I pass.
What were you,
Casual.
Brandon? If you
Casual.
go on.
Pass.
All right, I was thinking
Yeah,
about this
pass.
when you guys were saying this. One of these you might make fun of me.
Here comes Assassin's
just hear
Creed.
me out. No.
What?
Hear me out. So I was trying to think of like memorable open world games because there's always that like one
If
or
you
two
say
open
Arkham Knight, I
world
will
games that you just
strangle
know by
you.
heart. No, I'm not gonna say something. Just shut up.
Shut up, Oscar.
And I was just thinking, I think first of all I'd say Bloodborne because
Yes.
I love
game you made.
freaking Yarnum. What do you mean? Yes, you haven't played it, Blue.
Because I'm a what the fuck? Because I'm a FromSoft, like, I don't want to say fanboy because I'm not a
I
fanboy.
know.
I
know,
But I love FromSoft games,
very
and it looks like a fast From.
It's just, I mean, there are some worlds that I don't like later on in the game, like some locations I just don't like, but definitely the opening levels and just overall, it's pretty solid, fairly. Yeah, I'd say Bloodborne, and just like, it's honestly a better reason to play that game than like the actual bosses is just how creepy the world is and finding the shortcuts in that world is just crazy good. And then from like pure fun standpoint and just knowing like kind of like the world by heart, and this is the one I'm thinking you guys make fun of me. But I never played some of the old GTA games, so I'd probably say GTA 5. And I don't want to pull a Jaden, but just like I don't know, I know the world of GTA 5 so much, and just I don't know. As much as we make fun of GTA 5, it's still a great game. In my opinion, I still love the game a lot. One of the best games of 2013, along with of course, Last of Us and Tomb Raider and BioShock Infinite. But yeah, that world is just like I think that's the open world game I know the most by heart. Is that one?
I just want to say I want to give an honorable
Yeah,
mention
well
to Maximo versus Army of Zin on PS2.
Surprised you didn't say Destiny.
I said Maximo. M-A-X-I-M-O.
I said Destiny.
Destiny, I wouldn't consider Destiny open world. It's not very good, though, that, if it is considered. But
Not good at anything besides its own gameplay.
no, I think Maximo is I don't know if any of you played it on PS2.
Surprisingly, I didn't. No,
It's a Capcom game.
that's even more surprising.
It's Metroidvania style, I'm pretty sure they call
That's even more surprising.
it. It's part of the Ghosts and Goblins franchise. The first game was Ghosts to Glory, or Maximo Ghosts to Glory.
Wait, it's
So
part of
Justin,
what?
you're still
Ghosts and
passing?
Goblins.
You're not gonna say
Ghosts
anything?
and Goblins, yep, part of that
Holy
franchise.
shit! I played Ghosts and Goblins on the NES. I fucking love that game. I'm surprised I've never heard of Maximo. Then I'm gonna Google that after this podcast.
It's a good game.
If we're doing honorable mentions, honorable mention goes out to Far Cry 2. A lot of people love to say Far Cry 3. I adore Far Cry 2 because of the survival aspect. That game's hard as balls. It's not so much good from a storytelling standpoint. I think it's interesting the progression of the Far Cry series. The way 2 went from more of like a survival game, then 3 was a story-driven game, and then 4 was a sandbox. But Far Cry 2, man, that game's
It's good.
tremendous from a gameplay standpoint.
It's good, but I found it a little bit repetitive with the mechanics it tried to use to be realistic, like the gun jamming,
Yeah,
constant malaria. It does get repetitive, but I like what they did with it, and I liked how it was different. Like that was a good thing.
I thought there's little design aspects like, obviously the game's being hard, non-rage. I like and pull you in when you're hurt, so it's like.
And the fact that when you loaded up your map, it was all in game. It felt so seamless.
Yeah, it was really good. There was some problems, but I really. Justin, are you not going to say a pick, or are you just going to pass it?
Nope, I'm passing.
For God's sake, Justin.
I'm telling you,
Casual.
this guy's a casual. Like he's the definition. Like we all joke about casual, but I think Justin's the one guy that truly is actually a casual.
More casual than Jade. Kappa.
I was surprised that Dan didn't say Just Cause 3 because he mentions that a lot. But yeah, I know like Red Dead Redemption wouldn't even, be compared to Just Cause 3 at all.
No.
Well, we both
Alright, we have one more question. We got one more question. This is also by Bruce Wayne.
I'm getting
And he
tired.
says,
Jesus,
"What's your most
how long have we been
anticipating
talking
game?"
for?
All right,
hours,
just cut
mate.
me off. Yeah, that's completely great, Justin. Yeah,
Jesus.
Jesus,
I keep getting
have manners, kid. Kappa. All right, most anticipated game of 2010. You don't need to explain it. Just list the game. How about that?
Monster Hunter World.
And I'll
God
start
of
with
War.
you,
Shadow of a Goddamn Doubt.
Justin. Go.
God of War.
God of War.
I didn't even hear what he said.
God of War.
God of War.
Not
Yeah.
Spider-Man?
All right, Dan.
Spider-Man's after,
Dan.
slightly after.
Oh.
You said Spider-Man was over God of War at E3. I'm pretty sure.
Who, me?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I remember talking about it. You're like, Spider-Man's not over God of War. I'm like, no, God of War's completely over. Okay, just go, Dan. Go.
Oh God. I don't want to say
FIFA 19.
Detroit. I don't want to get I don't want to say Detroit because.
You say
Will
Detroit?
kill me.
No.
I don't know. I would probably say God of War because I have played the God of War games and I like them. I would say Spider-Man, but at the same time, I don't know. I have like a slight feeling that I don't think that game will be as good as people say it is. So I'd say God of War because it's the game I have the most faith in to live up to expectations. So I'll say God of War.
All right. Well, to me, it was either gonna be between Red Dead or God of War. But honestly, after that latest trailer, I'm not looking forward to Red Dead as much as I was. So I'd probably say God of War, just because we still know
Yeah.
not that much compared to what the full game will be about. I mean, we know he's taking his son to the mountains or something.
Supposedly his
Or,
son.
I believe something like that. Yeah, supposedly. Well, I know it is his son. I'm pretty sure.
They've said it's his, but
In the trailer, doesn't it say this is not your past, this is
it
your
is.
son, and he needs his father.
they've said it's his
He
son.
needs his father. Unless he's taking him to his father, he's his father.
Well, I'm just considering previous God of War games. That's all.
All right. Yeah, that definitely is the game now. I mean, yeah.
So is everyone
sure,
saying
no.
God of War apart from me?
Yeah, you're
Well,
Monster Hunter.
I'd say Red Dead 2 as well, but it's just that yeah, I wasn't that impressed with the trailer that they showed off. That's all I'll say.
Will it even make 2018?
Mm. If that gets delayed again, I swear to God.
They're gonna be the new Sony. I mean, they've been playing games for ages, but they're not gonna be there with Sony anymore. Sony will be the new. They're not gonna reveal a date till like last minute.
Oh,
Day
probably.
before.
I do want to know, like, not to be like adding another question, but like, when do you guys think God of War will come out? Because
March.
it's probably gonna be after
March.
February at this point.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say March.
I want to say March as well,
Yeah, that ain't long.
and I see Detroit being April or May.
No,
April.
I would.
Spider-Man, like,
I think they'd want to get it out within the first quarter of the first quarter of 2018. I'd say.
so you think it'd be March?
Yeah, March or April at the latest.
For Detroit,
March.
should be a good year anyway. So Justin, you want to wrap it up?
Are we done? We're done.
Yarp.
Yes.
All right.
Sure.
That's
Also,
great.
there might be Death Stranding gameplay soon, according to Guillermo del Toro. There you go. Any thoughts on that? Oh, okay, no worries.
No.
No.
December. December
Did we bring it up
7th.
earlier? On
No.
your birthday.
We mentioned Death Stranding. I don't know if we mentioned the game.
No, we were talking before we started recording.
No, I don't know.
That was before we started recording, Brandon.
Was it? I thought it
I'm
was
pretty
the beginning.
sure it was.
I'm pretty sure we mentioned Death Stranding and gameplay
Anyways.
right after Last of Us.
We might
Yeah.
see more gameplay. We might see. I mean, not more. We might see gameplay at the Game Awards.
More gameplay. Justin's from the future. Alright, continue.
Great Scott.
Is Emma Stone in it, Justin? Can you confirm that?
Yeah, we're gonna see.
Or
We're gonna see
Ryan.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider announcement and Death
Yeah,
Stranding
that's true,
gameplay
we're gonna see that.
at the Game Awards.
Did you access this information from the Philosopher's Stone?
And
Justin?
Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild's gonna win the Game Awards. Game of the Year.
No, I think Mario will.
Justin,
Alright.
I must say, did you get all this information from the Philosopher's Stone?
Wow.
Only me and Justin will understand that.
Let me guess. It's either Arrow or Flash or talking about.
Oh God.
Oh man. Anyways, thanks a lot for listening to this week's episode of Gaming at its Core. Of course, make sure to leave your questions down below for the next episode. Any final thoughts you guys want to add or no?
Hope to see you again next time.
Yeah, what Josh said.
Yeah.
I'm
All
a
right.
hardcore gamer.
We hope to see you again next time on Gaming at its Core.
Have a good Thanksgiving if we don't upload before then, because
We
no,
probably
probably
won't.
delay next week anyway. So we'll see you after Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
See you.